Hello, it's Fortune Cookie back after a a minute. If you're on TikTok, I have not gone anywhere, but on YouTube, I've been MIA. And I'm back from my dark night of the soul, for lack of a better word. But in honor of the new year and in honor of Haitian Independence Day, I have decided that I will no longer be doing New Year's resolutions, okay? It's New Year's declarations from now on because when you resolute, it implies that there was an exchange of ideas and a back and forth to reach a resolution. But resolutions can be challenged. Do you know what I'm saying? Like resolutions can be challenged. So I've decided that this is the year of declarations. I'm declaring over my year. And I have several declarations, and one that I want to share with you guys on YouTube is that 2026 will be a very heart led year. And I know it sounds very cheesy to say, like, let the heart lead. Like, and even me a year ago would cringe at me saying this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I actually realized this the other night when I was overthinking, as I do. And side note, a part of the reason why I haven't been very active on YouTube is because I've spent a lot of 2025 thinking and introspecting. And on one hand, it's very beneficial to have seasons where you're with yourself and you're checking in with yourself and you are combing the you're surfing the seas of your mind, okay? And I'm very grateful for that season because I learned to just be, even without mirrors, and even to just face my mind or face what's going on inside. And it's helped tremendously. But 2026 is the year of letting my heart be the authority over my life instead of my mind. So back to what I was saying, I was having this like anxious spiral, this existential anxious spiral because I've been thinking a lot about like music, how I want to like show up in the world as a woman, an artist, just a woman in general. Like I want a very big life. I want the nicer things in life. I want to make a lot of money. I want to make art. I want to dance. I want to just live the best life, and I have the best life. I'm just going to claim it now, period. But during that anxious spiral, I noticed that my heart started to beat really fast. And that's when it clicked for me. Like when I've had this thing for like years where I'll think about something and then my brain will get so obsessed with something that I'll just spiral and think about it. And when that happens, it's kind of like you retreat into your mind. You hide in your mind, you know? And one of my favorite songs on TikTok is from the Persona 4 soundtrack, Pursuing My True Self. Please listen to that song. I'll link it in the bio. But I just asked myself, like, why? Where is this feeling coming from? What am I doing? And for some reason, it clicked for me, and I realized that I need to check in with my heart. Like, I immediately had to shut my brain off, put my hand on my chest, and be like, what do you think? And I realized that the things that I was overthinking, which I was overthinking like success, creativity, art, music. I was just thinking about all that. Like, could I really be a successful artist? Could I really be all that I could be in this life? When I asked my heart about these things, my heart felt so full. My heart immediately stopped racing. I was like, actually, the idea of this life, it makes me feel safe. Do you know what I'm saying? And I realized that a lot of these like catastrophic thoughts is just the mind's way of just putting up walls whenever your psyche or whenever your focus or consciousness goes to uncharted territory where it's like for me, the idea of being a successful artist and being seen by people and recognized for my talents and gifts, my mind sees that idea and that concept and puts the walls of like, what if this happens, and then what if this, you don't have enough, and da 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 da, you're not da da da, you're all on da da. That's the mind putting up gates because you've went past a boundary, you've went past what it's familiar with, right? And then when I turned it off and I just asked my heart, I realized that like this idea and this dream makes my heart feel full. This is what I truly desire. This is what I truly want. And I realized that the dilemma that I've had for the past year, even ever since I left like corporate, was just the battle between my heart and my mind. Because I think in some points in my life, my mind is the thing that has gotten me through life. That's why when you're intelligent, when people say you're intelligent, they say you have a sharp mind. My mind is very sharp. I'm not even being arrogant when I say that, but there's some points in your life where your mind can be a weapon formed against you and others sometimes. So I realize what's truly missing from my life is living a life where I make my heart the authority over my life and not what's logical and what makes the most sense and what my pattern recognition tells me and da-da-da. And I don't know if again, intellectualizing. This could be me romanticizing it, but I am very spiritual. I do know that the heart center is the most powerful center in the body. It's like, I read somewhere that its electromagnetic field is like 8 to 10 feet away from the body. Like your heart can be felt 3 to 10 feet away from you. And with that in mind, I think about how all the electricity and all the energy in the mind is focused inward on itself. So if you're always in your head, your brain is always just going to be fighting itself. And after journaling and talking about this, I ultimately realized that the mind does not know its reason for being, which is why the mind loves to ponder on existential questions of what if this, and then why. The mind loves to do that. The mind is not a bad place, but the mind ultimately doesn't know why it's here. The heart knows that its job is just to circulate blood and energy through its body. The heart doesn't speak in language and visions and symbols the way the mind does, but the heart knows that its reason for being is just being. Wow. Even I'm gagged by that. Wow. But yeah, the heart's reason for being is just to be. And if I separate myself from my heart and my mind, and I ask myself, who would I want to be more like? I'd want to be more like a heart, because the heart doesn't think about why it's pumping blood through the body. The heart just knows that this is what I am and this is what I'm going to do. And it does that until it can't anymore. So, and when you really think about it, you can be brain dead and still alive, but there's no existence without the heart. So my heart ultimately is the core of my existence, physically and in an emotional and spiritual sense. Your heart dictates whether you exist or not. So what I want to do from this point on is to let my mind submit to the authority of my heart, which means that when I get into thought loops or when I get into a mental space that makes my heart feel a certain way, I have to ask my heart for guidance, because my heart ultimately knows. And that resonance, even just by it being, it resonates outside of you. Like when you're anxious, people can tell when you're anxious. Like people can feel it on you. You know what I'm saying? So your heart ultimately dictates the energy that you put out into the world. So why not put that at the center of my entire life? With that in mind, my New Year's declaration is that I am leading with my heart and not my mind. My mind is my sword and shield. My mind is a very precious place, and it is a very powerful thing. And I think in 2025, I have learned to trust that my mind is very sharp. Even as I've posted, I've realized that my mind is powerful. But ultimately, the mind has to operate in accordance to the authority of my heart. And that's what I want to do, not only in 2026, but just like from here on. Like, I just want to just declare that over my life. Like, I think, yes, in the past things happen and you get jaded with relationships and friendships and things, and like I often feel like I'm going to get a little woo woo, conspiracy theorist, if you will. But I really do think a lot of the things, especially that you see online and the way that this world is set up, it is to connect your connection from your mind and your heart. Because when they work together in union, I feel like that's the most powerful thing. And since adopting this mindset, even it's been like 2 days, I feel like I don't overthink as much. I can simply just ask my heart and treat my heart, even though my heart doesn't speak the way my mind does. My heart is a thing. It's something that understands more than my mind could. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not my mind, but I'm not my whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to post that on YouTube. I have a lot of great content coming up this year. Music, maybe a Patreon to talk more about this type of stuff. Um, I'm working on a lot of very fun projects. A lot of projects that come from what I love. And yeah, so I hope everyone has a great 2026. I hope that you found a new perspective shift and that you also feel inspired to lead with your heart, because sometimes the mind can play tricks on you. And especially with algorithms and the social media getting more hectic, um, I hope that this year is a call to return to the heart's authority. So, yeah, signing off. Bye, guys.